Kevin, thanks for joining me. We're just going to have a quick chat before talking about your best Finn Harps 11. How are you doing?
I know everybody's changed times over the last 7 weeks. Everybody in lockdown, but just trying to keep things as normal in the house because we have 2 young kids and stuff. So plenty of stuff. I'm getting more training done than I ever done in my life. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying a bit of me time, because mostly Sunday evenings was the only time I was getting free, with the academy and all the National League stuff going on.
Yeah.
So and the kids' football, so it's good. It's good to get a wee bit of a break, but I'm at the stage now where I'm very, very keen, like the players, to get back into action and get the ball on the grass.
Definitely. How's the hair?
The hair, there's a lot of greys coming through. But no, I'm the same as everybody else would say. I was tempted a couple of weeks ago to get the razor out, but no. I've gone past that stage. I've gone past the stage of caring at this stage. So
just leave it.
So I'm in a good place with my hair. Just let it go.
Very good. Okay. Shall we get to what people have just clicked this to watch? Actually, so this is Kevin McHugh's best Finn Harps 11. Yeah,
this will suppose be cleared up. This is the 11 I would have played with over the 14 years I was at the club. Right the way from 1999 to retired there in 2015-2016 season. So this was due, like when you sent me this questions, I think it was a week ago at this stage. I think, and you know that yourself, I've changed it so many times. So it was so hard. It was it was awful. It was probably an awful experience for you. But it was one of those ones where I thought, I'll be right. I believe there's no problem in 15 minutes sitting at the table with a piece of pen. But I ended up bringing the tactic board into it. I ended up bringing the PowerPoint. I ended up doing everything. I was like, I have to be really sure of this.
Yeah.
So basically, for my own sanity and for the players that have left out, for them not to be buzzing my phone, basically I've based my selections on the longevity of players that I've played with, not people that came in for 6 months or a season, people that have maybe played for 4 or 5 seasons and consistently were good in my eyes, and not just good on the pitch, just the influence they had around the change rooms and their attitude to training and just everything, their overall demeanour. That's what I went and selected my best 11, and obviously, as you know, I've obviously tried to get squad players in as well. But that was my taking on it, because I've been watching social media and I've been seeing people putting up their best 11s, and I'm looking at it going, what planet are they on? Like, some of the players have been selected, they'd had 4 or 5 decent games in a season and disappeared. So no, I've tried to keep it as solid as I could, but I know there's going to be a lot of disagreements. But I suppose you want me to start with the manager.
The man who built everything, who brought everything together. So
well, I suppose I have to mention a few managers that I had who I felt had a big influence. So like looking back, like obviously you had Noel King, you had Felix, and even recently Ollie. All had certain traits that I would definitely use, and I have used over the last number of years. But there's one manager I went with, which was the man who had probably the biggest kind of influence over me, and obviously brought me to the club at a time when I was only 17, and he had no hesitation, just throw me in there, and along with Speaky and Mulligan. So the manager I've opted with was Charlie Mckeever. What was good about him, he was just a brilliant manager, very, very positive. And I didn't realise how good he was until years later. And obviously he's gone on to manage down the country, Tipperary Gaelic and all, and that doesn't surprise me. He just had the brains for it, and he had the personality for it, and his demeanour was top class. Couldn't really say a bad word about him at all. So to me, he should be talked about within the club is one of the best managers in their history, because he was running a kick of the ball away from obviously winning the cup in '99. And if you just look at the article, I've seen an article Chris McNulty put up, and I've never seen that picture, the one where he went into the Bray change room and was shaking hands with the players, and I can only imagine after three, if you can just imagine 3 games, 2 replays, and then the final game, the final, like we got beat, and it was such disastrous circumstances how we were beat. We had it in the bag and we were beat, but long story short, we didn't know that as players. He was in there shaking hands with the opposition players and manager, and he was obviously giving a speech. That shows you, that doesn't surprise me. That shows you the kind of man he was like. So it was a no-brainer. Charlie Mckeever, definitely.
Yeah, and when you became a manager and a coach, is that something that you took from him, when you thought, how would Charlie Mckeever handle this situation, or this is something I remember from him?
Yeah, well, the biggest trait and the biggest compliment I give him is just he wasn't full of himself. He wasn't. He hadn't got an ego. It was just he took obviously every situation as it was, and he was just very good at handling people one-on-ones, and that's a skill in itself. And he give you that confidence. It's very hard to explain. All good managers do. He just give you that confidence that you knew. He didn't say too much, but you knew when you were doing well. And he always knew he had your back. So no, I really like Charlie, and just the way he handled people, more so than anything else.
Do you keep in touch with him still?
I would have kept in touch with him for years. When he just moved down and he started work with Tina G, I would have seen him at a lot of grounds. He would have done the Soccer Bill program and Tina G. So I would have met him at a lot of grounds, and he was live on Tina G. So no, good, really good man. I can only say good things about him, you know.
Moving on to the second most important player in the team, goalkeeper.
Second, okay. I'll give you that one then.
Yeah.
Well, again, there's loads of good keepers at the club in my time. But obviously I just give obviously Kieran Gallagher and Gavin Collin in my time. But James Gallagher stood out. He's an individual I got to know very well off the pitch. Real top goalkeeper, solid. He played at the highest level, especially in this country. And obviously, if he hadn't got his knee injury, I'm sure he would have kicked on to bigger things as well. But just very, very consistent, technically good at everything. And he had that demeanour and presence about him, which didn't surprise me. Then he went on to manage me at a later date, but didn't surprise me. His demeanour in the change room, he just demanded the best from his backline, and you dare not talk back to him. Put it that way. No, very consistent, very solid, and a good all-round character that anybody would love to have in their change rooms, you know.
I was gonna ask how was he in terms of the back four in the leadership? Is he one of those that yelled and kept on them and kind of?
Yeah, 100%. He was a Van der Sar type keeper where he organised. His motto was the less shots. Like if he can more he can organise his back four and his midfield, then less shots is going to come at him, and that's the sign of a top keeper. Like not keepers are pulling off shots left, right, and centre. And when they're switching off, he was on his toes and definitely kept the back four on their toes during my time. You know, when the latter end of his career, he's kicking kind of slightly went because his knee. I met him recently. Like I think he has to get a knee replacement. Like so, all them like people don't realise the commitment that somebody like that has to do. Like and James is just turning 40. And he has to get a knee operation, like, and that's because of football. That's because of his commitment. When people wouldn't have known that he was in genuine pain throughout games, like we would have seen it. But again, that's just the man he was. He done it for the cause, and he loved his football, you know.
So moving on, you had a back three here. Formation you played with a lot during the years.
Not really. I went that formation to get in certain players that I wanted to get in. I worked from the front back.
As a striker does.
Yeah, as a striker does. But so I wanted to get the people in I thought, because I obviously knew that area of the pitch better than anything else. and I worked my way back. But that's the reason I went with 3 at the back. Again, loads of good right backs. The club when I was there, Pascal Vodacom, Roy Boyle, Kevin McHugh recently. All top players. But I went with Luca, and I don't think anybody will be surprised. He went the right side of the 3. No doubt his best position is right back, obviously, but technically very, very gifted player. He was so strong. Oh my God, you just couldn't budge him off the ball, and nobody could get around him. He was just like a wall when he signed for us. He was just a breath of fresh air when he came in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of a wee bit ahead of his time, the way he played. He was a modern day, as in now when I'm talking about the way right backs attack, set up goals and on plays on the front foot. That's the way he played. So really, really, really good character when he came in, and just probably perfect timing in those years, 2003, 2002, when he came in. So just perfect timing, and he obviously loves the area and loves Finn Harps because he's still here, involved with the clubs. Really good character to have in your team.
We know him obviously from the academy. He's the under-17s head coach, and I think everyone who knows him just like he's such a nice guy and so funny and just character. You know, I'm sure I can only imagine the dressing room with him in it. It's good crack, isn't it?
Yeah, he came and people thought his English wasn't great, but the only thing he didn't understand was his round, and he never got that. He never bought too much in his day. But no, really good lad, really good character in the change rooms, and sometimes he took himself too serious, and he would then do stories in the change rooms. And I remember always looking across at Minnow, and you would have been biting your towel, just trying to keep in your laugh at half time. So, no, but he's good, really good player to have on your pitch. You'd rather have him with you than against you, put it that way. And it was just a bit of luck. We kind of got a player of his caliber, and at that time,
I was going to ask, obviously at that time, most of the players would be either even Irish, but even local. And Luca's stepping into the dressing room, and he's never seen Ireland before. And
yeah, it's a good point. We were 90% local team, but to be fair, all the players and Luca will tell you that himself. We looked after him. We looked after him very well. I remember taking him to work one day. 2000 and I think it was 2001, 2002. I was working in Dunlow for the day, and I took him down to Dunlow, and people didn't know what was going on. This man running around in and out of every shop, because he had nothing else to do in Dunlow for the full day. So he came looking for me again over in the office. But no, that's the kind of things we done just to show him around the county, and he loved it. He loved everything about the county, and he loved everything about Finn Harps, and obviously
he's still here. Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on. The second of the 3, center back.
The centre back, I had no doubt over this one, and obviously we had loads of good centre halves in my time as well. Keith Cowan, I'll give a special mention as well, to be fair. Consistently very good. But I went with Declan Boyle, who was the captain at the time. Just hugely experienced player. Played at the top level and came to Finn Harps after a real successful years with Sligo and Derry. Pure natural leader, just simple as that. And as good as anyone I've ever seen. And very, very, him and Peter Hutton would have been very, very similar in terms of the way they read the game. No nonsense defending. And you rarely seen him make a mistake, and just really good leader in the dressing room, and always led by example on the pitch. So Declan Boyle was a no-brainer, and he had a real knack of actually setting up goals. And if you just look back at loads of highlights, him breaking from centre half into midfield and setting up attacks, he was excellent at that. So real good all-rounder, and he was a no-brainer to pick in my favourite 11, He was excellent at organising, and I'm sure the defenders that played along with him will tell you that. He was a complete organiser. He was constantly talking, constantly organising, and like most of the team talks, half time, was mostly Deccan boy, like at times, no matter what manager was there. So he always had a good idea and a good reading of the game, good understanding from an early age,
Obviously, something that helped him because he went into coaching and coached the academy and under 17s and so on up until recently.
Because, no doubt. Like he's obviously got work commitment, and he was fantastic years with the R17s and brilliant, and he will be back coaching at some stage, whether it be at the underage national league or at senior level, because he's just a natural leader and he's a natural coach, and he will be a manager. There's no doubt about it if he wants to be, in the years to come.
Okay, the third of the left-sided player there in the back three.
Yeah, just to create a wee bit of balance. I went with Shane Bradley. And again, it was a no-brainer for me. As soon as I thought of centre halves, the Shane and Declan just popped in my head right away. I know Neil Fitzhenry was excellent when he came to the club, but he moved into midfield. But Shane and Declan was some partnership together. Two of them got on like a house on fire off the pitch as well. But on the pitch, there were two colossuses for us. Shane, brilliant left foot. Unbelievable in there. Like people when they meet Shane, they think he's about 6'4". Like Shane's only about 5'10", 5'11", but he's a bull that he get up in the air, and not just get up in there, but hang there. It was just nothing I've ever seen before. Him and Darren Kelly were very similar, and he was one of the best hitters of the ball in the country has ever seen. And Shane is right up there with him, like if not better. And just the leap they had on him, and he got unbelievable amount of goals from centre half. I don't know what the exact. I know somebody stole a couple of goals off him in the recent charts, but he's like an unbelievable record from centre half, getting goals from corners and set plays. So he was a no-brainer. Really good player and very good character to have in your dressing room as well. Like great crack as well. When we were chasing a game or a goal down with the last 15 minutes left, it was always your go-to man. And Niall Quinn job, just he threw him up front, and knockdowns. I'm sure he's got me loads of assists from knockdowns down through the years. But no, he was an all-rounder, and it just created him and Declan just a great balanced partnership in there. And obviously the left foot, he's passing ability was second to none as well.
Moving on, you had two in midfield. The 6 and the 8.
6 and 8. Both start with the 6, where I went by a player again that was in our change room when I came in. I can only speak highly of him in the same breath as I'm chatting about Charlie Mckeever. Just the way he would put his arm around the younger players and encouraged, and just such a positive character. And what a colossus on the pitch. Tom Owen went away as number 6. Obviously, Finn Harps fans' favourite, and obviously I don't need to introduce him or explain or warrant his place in my favourite 11 too much, because just the man was every blade of grass on the pitch. Superb attitude to the game, superb work rate, and just has that work ethic and hunger that he had on the pitch just spread throughout the whole change room in every game that we had. So yeah, Tom, top class, and definitely one of the first people you'd put in any team. And I'm sure any team that he's played for would say the same,
Again, if anyone doesn't know it, Tom Owen is the head coach for the Ireland's under-19s international. Obviously a massive job. Is that something where you sit with him in the dressing room, you're thinking he's going to be a coach one day? Is that something that you saw in him?
Well, if anybody's telling us, you just don't. There's a couple of people may stand out, but there's people you just don't know how they would take the things. But he obviously took it like a duck to water. He's just his natural character came out. Just very good man. I can imagine him in that change room, the under-19s, and he's probably the exact kind of character they need at the stage of their career. And very positive. If you need to be told something, you'll be told it. But really good character and a really good way about him, and he's a good way of obviously communicating with players as well, which is key and at that level. And there's no doubt he's been a huge success. But no, I'm not surprised that he's done so well. But I didn't see it back then. I'm doing what he's doing now, like, but I'm not surprised at the same time.
And the man next to him?
The man next to him would have been more attacking player. I wouldn't have been relying on him defending now. Bit of an enigma. Just a proper one of these boys that's just naturally gifted player. That's Paddy McGrannon. Pure natural ability. He's such a funny character as well. He used to wear a watch on the pitch when you were allowed to wear watches. And most people that had sport watches, Paddy used to have a wee brown leather strap watch. He used to be looking what time long's left, you know. But no, funny boy to have around. But what a player! You wouldn't think to look at his physique, but he was so strong on the ball. In my days, I've never seen anybody push him off the ball. Really, really strong player. And his biggest strength was obviously carrying the ball. And his fitness levels were out of this world. And that allowed him to probably torture defenders more than anybody else that I played with. But just a real enigma. Just one of these players could be the best player on the pitch at his ease. So real standout kind of player. And he obviously was a fan's favourite as well, you know.
Mm-hmm. Gave you a lot of assists during the years?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would have said, like, more so than assists would have been, like, he always had attracted two players to him all the time because he was so good at carrying the ball. Times he would have beat the same man 3 or 4 times right enough, but he definitely attracted attention all the time, and that obviously created space for the likes of myself and more attacking players, but real good player. And he obviously would be a huge addition to any team.
Mm-hmm. Next one on the list in midfield.
The left wing back I think I went with was Jonathan Monic.
Mm-hmm.
And again we had some brilliant left wingers at the club at the time, and more so than Niall Bonner, another naturally gifted player. But Minnow obviously is one of the great left backs of the League of Ireland era, in my opinion. Doesn't get enough praise for what he's done. Hugely talented, unbelievable engine on him, and I do mean unbelievable. He just never stopped, and he was so quick. He was, I would say, other than Chrissy Breen, he would have been the quickest player in the team by a mile. And that made up because he used to try things that used to crack managers up. He used to try Cruyff turns and whatnot on his own third and inside his own half. But and if he got robbed, it didn't matter because he was with that player. Thought he was away, but Minnow was back and caught him within a couple of seconds. So him and Paddy actually formed an unbelievable partnership up that left in my time. So Minnow and the amount of assists. So again, just like Declan Boyd and Shane Badley, just look back at the amount of assists that Minnow would have got. This time, brilliant delivery of the ball, unbelievable left foot on him as well. So yeah, no brainer, and would have fit into any team in the country at the time when he was going well. You know, real good player.
Very good. How was he in the dressing room?
Quiet. Minnow was a quiet man. You had to get to know him. When you got to know him and he got going, you couldn't get him stopped. But no, quiet man in the change room. Funny boy, but he had a dry kind of wit, very similar to Mark Farren, who knew, God rest him, just that kind of dry wit. But he was very funny character.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't say much on the pitch or anything, but he would have cut you in two. I'm sure many right wingers have felt him throughout the years, but he didn't do much speaking on the pitch, but he didn't need to. He let his football do his work. But yeah, real good fella and brilliant character having the change room as well.
Mm-hmm. And on the other side, would you have?
Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but there has been loads of right wingers. Like Jonah Kenny was fantastic during my time. Very unfortunate not to be selected on it. But I went with Michael Funston because I probably played more years with Michael than anybody. And I got to know him very well off the pitch as well. Michael's what Michael lacked in technical ability, and he would say that himself, he more over and more than made up for it with his unbelievable work rate and desire. And again, he became a key player for the club throughout many years, and no more so in 2004, but the whole way through then, all those promotions and any good days we had, Michael was always involved in that, and probably doesn't get enough credit for some of the goals he scored. Fantastic right foot on him, and could score a cracker from real long range. Very few players can do that, but real good character to have about. He was a winner, and he loved his football. He trained tremendously hard. He looked after himself. So he was one of them boys who you would say, yeah, that's who players should be looking at. Whatever bit of talent you have to make the most of it. And I would, believe it or not, I would be saying to the players that we have nowadays, that's like talent will only get you so far. It's your work rate, desire, and your hunger to keep going and keep improving. And no more so than anybody in that 11 that I put Michael's top of the tree in that regard. Like real hunger for the game, and done really well for himself. So, yeah, I went with Michael for the right wing back.
Mm-hmm. And he's still playing for Monic.
Yeah, he's still playing. I'm not surprised because he loves playing, and he's obviously involved. He's in the backroom team as well for under 17s, which again he was more than delighted to get involved with. So yeah, great football man and a great club man. So.
And for your 10, just behind the strikers.
Behind the striker, game's the player from another Donegal man, Fergal Harkin. I went with as the number 10. Hugely gifted player. Technically as good as anybody I've ever seen in that role. And I think he was always kind of more wasted in our team, sitting in front of the back four and starting the play. I just felt he would have been a lot more influential if he was pushed forward. Because he was a brilliant finisher, left foot and right foot. And he was so comfortable on both feet, passing and dribbling, and had a real good eye for a pass. So, he would have been on top notch nowadays. That kind of role behind the striker, just linking up play, dropping into the space, and again, fantastic attitude and desire to look after himself and just be the best he can be. No surprise, went on to bigger and better things, but. Brilliant player and a great lad off the pitch as well.
I was going to ask, it doesn't sound like you're surprised when someone else, as you said, bigger and better came looking for him.
Yeah, at the time, Bowles and Stephen Kenny, and he obviously a fantastic couple of seasons there, and he deserved that chance because he'd done so well for us. Nobody would rob him off it, and nobody would hold it against him. And another fan's favourite, but what a player! What a great player, and another fellow Donegal man, which is great to see,
Definitely. Who have you gone with up front? For you, of all people, that must have been a torture.
It was a torture. I know most people try and put themselves into their favourite 11, but no, there's no way I could do it. The people involved, so I went with, obviously, I'll go with the first centre forward, which was Chris Breen, I'm going with. I know the longevity wasn't there with Chris in my time, I know because he got a few knocks. He wasn't as fit as he could be, but when he played, he was superb, really good, brilliant finisher, 1v1s, and doesn't get enough credit for that. Loads of assists. And his pace that he had that he hadn't got the stamina that you would associate with Minnow or Paddy, but over 10, 12 yards, he was as quick as anybody I've ever seen. Rapid pace. And he had that kind of tenacity as well and around defenders. They tortured them. So he was a no-brainer as well. He created so much space for me, and especially in that 2003, 2004 period where we done really well. He had superb seasons, really good. And again, another fella probably didn't fulfill his potential, but during the time that I was there, I seen the potential and it was there, and he was excellent, really good, and scored some big goals for us as well.
Mm-hmm. How was the partnership with you, even in the dressing room or off the pitch? Were you good friends and did you get along well?
I'd like to think I got on with most people. Yeah, she would have followed by certain players and stuff like that, but you get over that very, very quickly. But no, especially me and Chrissy, yeah, definitely got on off the pitch. Always a good crack. Like, those days there was no tablets and Sky Plus going down the bus. It was players were actually chatting to each other and having the crack. So we were a tight knit bunch. To be fair, and training, you used to look forward to getting up the road to training every night. So yeah, you could say there was a good bond between them players, especially most of those players that I've named in my 11. You know.
Mm-hmm. Who was the second striker?
Second striker was I made him capped as well, which was Johnny Speak. I know a lot of the young boys at the club probably don't even know, which is an absolute disgrace, and something that I need to address as head of the academy, that you need to know your history of the club. And the likes of Johnny Speak, what a player, what a player. I can only speak highly enough of him, and I'm sure anybody else you get speaking to will just tell you how good he was. Definitely privileged to be playing alongside a man like that. He was one of those very few players during my time playing League Ireland where I could say he had the whole package. What I mean by that, he could play, like, he was brilliant 1v1s, left foot, right foot, brilliant in the air, brilliant at holding up the ball, brilliant playing his back to goal, which you rarely see. Had a real good knack of linking the play. So, and again, another brilliant character. Who came from a successful period in Derry. But what a player! They come to our club, and he influenced loads and loads of players around him, and no more so than myself. But yeah, real good player, and to me, one of the greatest strikers in the League Ireland ever seen.
Speaking of the influence, obviously he was there when you joined. Was he something you look to go, right, I need to learn things from him? Was he kind of a little mentor or a striking mentor, if you will?
Absolutely. I know people at the time were going, how did you feel when like Johnny Speak and James Mulligan were two out of maybe the top 4 strikers in the country at the time? How did you feel trying to? And I never ever looked at it that way. I was always looking, going, like, what's he good at? What's he good at? What's he good at? What can I do to be the same as that? And so we're nearly mimic most of the things he done. So that's the way I looked at it. And to be fair, I was trying to take his place as the years went on, and he was that kind of character, that he was that easy-go-lucky character that he would have put the arm around you and told you where you were going wrong and told you what to do, even though he knew you were coming for his place. He didn't care. Again, that guy's the kind of character he was. Real top guy off the pitch, and it's just a shame he's not involved in football. I'd love to see a boy like that still involved in football, but brilliant character, and what a fantastic player.
As it took you so long to do, we're talking weeks now. We've decided in the end, we started with subs. We had 5. Then after 2 or 3 changes from you, I went, no, forget that. Just add them. We'll do it that way, right? So I've surrendered, and now I've given you 20 all in all. I've given you a whole squad. So 11 starters plus 9 squad plus a manager. So you've got a whole club here, right?
Yeah. Like it, Ben. That was a test. For you as a coach. And you back down. You failed. You back down. You back down to me.
Yeah.
My demands.
Okay.
No, that no, I was delighted when you were allowing a squad, because it was difficult to pick, and I've just even been following people online there on Twitter and Facebook and seeing, especially as I would call them, the hardcore element of fans who go to games week in, week out, and home and away games, and so you get a real feel for their passion for the club and players that they were selecting, and there was a lot of them feeling the exact same way as I do. But just to remind people, it was all about me playing with them, trying to get them into a team. It wasn't just about exactly 11 individuals. It was trying to do a team and who I thought would fit into the team. And,
it wasn't
playing at their peak. Yeah,
it wasn't I wasn't
going to pick 9 forwards or.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So.
Exactly that. Okay, so you've got 9 more. Okay. Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. Suppose I'll do it in doubles if you want. We've got
Start from the back.
Yeah, we've got. I went with two goalkeepers because you couldn't split the two of them in terms of standards and how they performed. Was Kieran Gallagher and Gavin Cullen, and two really top keepers, two great individuals, two people that, in my eyes, trained to their max and reached their potential, and that's you can't ask for any more. And two great fellas they have in and around the change rooms, technically very very good, and right up there along with James Gallagher. So we were fortunate to have so many good keepers during my time, and the two boys were no more so than Gavin and Kieran.
Obviously, you're still with Kieran in academy now. He's our head of goalkeeping, so the love's not lost there.
No, exactly. Kieran was really delighted to come on board and be the head goalkeeping coach, so that was fantastic for us. Obviously, Gavin's been hugely successful as a player manager, which is not easy. In Cockholes, so Cockholes went on to bigger and better things since he's taken over. So it's brilliant for him as well.
Okay, moving on. Defenders,
again, two people that I've played with for a long, long time, and probably very unfortunate that probably they're not included in the 11. And the reason being just that I've so much time for the boys that I've selected in 11. In terms of we went through so much, and we probably went through so many disappointments, more so than like winning things and doing stuff. And sometimes you can bond closer to people and that kind of thing when you get a disappointment and you gather yourself back up and you fight back again. So that's how I've bonded with definitely the first 11. But Keith Cowan and Kieran Call, again, two great fellas. Two people that were, when they were on top of their game, they were as good as anybody in the league. Keith Cowan and Kieran Call.
Very good. Long time serving as well. Keith Cowan was
here
for
both very long time serving. Like obviously Keir done over his 10 years in Dundee Dairy, but Keith huge amount of time as well. I know he came for a few years and then he left and then he came back, but Keith got stronger as the years went on.
Was injured for quite a while as well.
Yeah, immense how he came back from that horrendous injury, and he came back stronger than ever, and he led the team through promotion. So fair play to him, and doesn't surprise me. So definitely warrant the place on the squad.
Midfield,
two lefties. Neil Fitzhenry's one. Obviously came to the club as a centre half, but the Boyle and Bradley combination was just too solid. I couldn't break them up. So two boys, and Neil went in there, fantastic player, brilliant attitude. We used to call him the blonde bombshell. He would broke you in two in training or in a game and kind of smiled and popped you back up again. So he was that kind of player, but really, really experienced player, knew the game and technically very, very good. Another midfielder in there with him, and another left footer who's, in my opinion, being in the terraces and playing with him, he's very underrated, is Gareth Hagen. Just technically really, really good at everything. Really good engine on him. Loves to play football. To me, he's one of our best players, even still currently, that kind of links the play between the back line and the front line. And I always enjoy playing along with Gareth because he always like to pass the ball forward. That's what strikers like. Gareth, another great lad off the pitch who have a lot of time for. So that would be two midfielders in the backup.
Harkin also made captain this year as well. So obviously, at least Ollie thinks highly of him.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, man. Like I can hear, and I wouldn't obviously slip anybody in the sideline for giving opinions, but you can hear people at times giving out who's on, who's off, and I just shake my head and go, sometimes these people are actually watching the games, and because like us as teammates, the work and the job and the role that Gareth has given in the team, has been brilliant, and obviously every manager that he's played under obviously rates that as well.
Definitely. Attackers up front. Well, what have you got?
Kind of went for a mixture because there was like Went for three wingers at the end up. Niall Bonner, Jonah Kenny, and my mate Gareth Crossan. Niall Bonner probably in the same bracket as Paddy McGranan in terms of just complete raw ability. What a naturally gifted player. As good as left foot as I have ever seen. And we've had played with some brilliant players up the left wings, whether be it at Finn Harps and Jerry, but Niall Bonner is by far the best left foot I've ever seen. It's just unfortunate we didn't get to see enough of him, or he would have been straight in to the 11th if I played maybe a few more years with him. But Niall Bonner, top class player, and a great fellow as well. Jonah Kenny, again, probably hugely unfortunate. And the reason Johnny or Michael Fonson gets in ahead of Johnny is just the time. I spent just more time with Michael than I did with Johnny. Johnny, what a player. So quick. Hugely experienced in the change room and real good fella to have about the change room and real positive attitude towards games as well. And then obviously Gary, who we've played with in 2002 right up to 04, 05. Again, hampered by injuries, but yeah, he played a big part in the 2004 winning season, scoring goals and obviously filling in for the likes of Jonah Kenny and people. So hugely huge. When you look at those nine, all nine, any one of them could probably fit it in any one of those spots in 11. So no, I'd be pretty happy enough with that. And just probably a special mention. I know you don't want me to do this, but a special mention for a few more. Which was Sean Houston, Ray Kenny, and Damien McNulty. You give me a squad of 23, did you?
That's it.
It'd be like a county squad in a minute. Can we go up to 30, 34, 35?
Yeah. Can they do kitman and physio?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do you want me to get a kitman physio?
No, that's fine. We'll be here all week.
No, that's it. Thanks for your time and effort. When you got in touch a couple of weeks ago, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And again, it's only my opinion. Obviously, people pick their 11s, but that's my experience through playing with all these players, what they gave you on the pitch and off the pitch. Obviously, I'm leaving out a huge amount of players that will be definitely giving me texts and messages going, "What the hell? Why am I not included?" And rightly so. But that's what I went with, and I'd be pretty happy with that squad to go into any season, you know.
Any thoughts of putting yourself in the squad, or was that straight away?
No, I'd be pretty happy to be sitting in there as assistant to Charlie Mckeever with that squad there. That squad there would win most games, I have no doubt. And I'd be pretty happy to sit and watch that.
Very good. Okay, so that's the whole 20. That's it. If you're watching this video now, the early video is not the same as this video because we've done this how many times now, Kevin?
I don't know. I've lost count at this stage.
Exactly. So changed clothes, changed. It's all different times, different places. But we're finally finished. We're finished, Kevin, right?
Yeah, this is Friday. What time is it now? Friday.
This is Friday, 6:45.
Yeah, I think you're safe enough to post out now at this stage.
Yeah. Well, sure. That's it.
And I'm literally once you text me to say it's posting up, I'm turning off my phone.
Exactly. That's it. I'm turning off my phone as well, so you won't text me. Oh, I forgot. No, I want to make a change. No, nothing like that.
Right,
Kevin, that was lovely. All in all, thanks for doing this. Thanks for sitting down with me and recapping all this.
No problem. Yeah, thank you, Ben. Great stuff. Great work as usual. Thank you.